In this video, I'm planning to explain the indeterminate form 0 over 0 in trigonometric functions. Here, the important rules, the first rule is the important for us. Limit x tends to 0, sin x over x is going to be equal to 1, or tangent x over x is going to be equal to 1. Tangent 0, we know that is equal to, from the trigonometry 0, 0 over 0 indeterminate form we have here. Okay, this is the important part. Firstly, x must tends to 0 for this type of questions. If x tends to pi over 3, pi over 4 different numbers, it won't be true for the tangent x over x is not equal to 1. First, we need to know that one. The second one, here the coefficients. If we have extra in the coefficients for the functions, we have coefficients in the equations, then the coefficients, they are going to be our results. A over b is the result, a over b here, sine ax over sine bx, a over b, tangent ax over tangent bx, a over b, and these are all x tends to 0. Here, if I explain this one on the questions, here there are very simple examples, sine tangent 2x over tangent 5x. So, if x tends to 0, it means that the answer is 2 over 5 only. Or sin x over tangent 3x. There is a formula again. 0, x tends to 0, so the coefficient of sin x, x is equal to 1, only x is equal to 1. Coefficient of 3x is equal to 3, so the answer is 1 over 3. Here, this is sin 5x over 7x. And if you remember, tangent sine ax over bx is equal to a over b, so the answer is going to be equal to 5 over 7 for this question. Okay, now we have limit x tends to 0, sine square x over 2, 3x squared. Normally, it's not the rule is not applicable for the powers, but if we use the limit combination theorem here, we can easily transform this equation into sin ax over bx form. Okay, limit x tends to 0, sine square x over x over 2 can be written as sin x over 2 times sin x over 2. Okay, then here we have also 3 times x. So I'm going to separate the by using limit combination theorem, I'm going to separate these are like this. X tends to 0, sine x over 2 over 3x times limit x tends to 0, sine x over 2 over x. Here the coefficient of x over 2 is equal to 1 over 2. So the answer here for the first one, 1 over 2 over 3, the coefficients, times 1 over 2 over 1. This is 1 over 6 times 1 over 2 over 1 is equal to 1 over 2 over 1. Actually, it should be written like this. Over 1. 1 over 2 over 1. Then the answer is equal to 1 over 12 is going to be. Okay. Here this question a bit different, because in this question the function is not x isn't approaching to 0. X tends to 2. So limit x tends to 2 sine 2 minus x over 2 minus x times 2 plus x we can write. And this is going to be equal to limit x tends to 2 sine 2 minus x over 2 minus x is equal to, times limit x tends to 2, 1 over x plus 2 plus x. It's going to be, let's write like that. 2 plus x, it must be, as you see here, limit x tends to 2, 1 over 2 plus x is going to be equal to 1 over 2 plus 2. Here the important part is, here I said it should be, x tends to 0, but here x tends to 2, but that 2 value again it's making the numerator and denominator 0, so this is the case. When the numbers are same, they are equal to 1 sine t over t, it's going to be, let's say 2 minus x is equal to t, so this is sine t over t. It means that limit x tends, this is equal to 1, sorry, and this is equal to 1, so the answer is equal to 1 times 1 over 4, that's equal to 1 over 4 is going to be. Okay, this is the last example. Tangent x over x minus pi. Now we are going to use here tangent properties, reduction formulas. Tangent pi minus alpha, we know that it's equal to minus tangent alpha. So tangent minus tangent pi minus x, it's going to be equal to tangent x. And limit x tends to pi. Tangent x is equal to minus tangent pi minus x over 3 times, but we have here x minus pi. We have to get pi minus x, so I'm putting minus sign here, and it becomes like this. And here it tends to pi minus x. It's going to be equal to 0. So this is tangent t over t case, and it's equal to limit x tends to pi. Minus and minus, it's going to simplify each other. Tangent pi minus x over 3 times pi minus x. This is going to be the answer. It's going to be here, this one and this one. It's going to be equal to 1. So 1 over 3 is going to be the answer.